Hi guys, welcome to Strolling Wise Minds. Thank you for clicking in the video. This is Kanishk, and welcome to this new episode. Wherein the most, I guess, very tech channel on the YouTube space is not complete until we have somebody from Amazon right now. So I've got somebody with my own name. He's Mr. Kanishk. He's currently working at Amazon. Former working at before this he was working with Avalara, and right now he's like moving on to his pursuits of life. So, without wasting any time further, I'll just call him. So, hi, Mr. Kanishk. It feels very weird, first of
Hello.
all. Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. So, how has it been, like, Amazon onboarding, everything?
Yeah, like it's been 2 months now. So, yeah, like people say that there is a lot of work pressure in Amazon,
Mhm.
but for my team, it's not the case. So, I'm enjoying my life at Amazon.
What team are you in? Like, can you, like,
Amazon Pay team.
Amazon Pay? So, yeah, I'll just get to the point straight away. Like, when did you think कि यार coding करना है boss? That's the thing.
You know, it was in my fourth year. Like earlier, I was onto the graphic designing thing. Then I moved to CAT, and after some time, I realized that I am not made for these two things. So in
Okay.
my fourth year, I realized that I should
Mhm.
go and pursue my career with the software engineering thing.
Okay. Like, as of now, you think it's a booming market. So right now, it's a good place to be in. So also, like,
Yeah.
you just mentioned ki I was talking to you yesterday also. You told me ki you were into UX design, then you moved to CAD, then software engineering. Like
Yeah.
today, if you see the current college space is highly focused on, like, from the day one they have to get into competitive programming. All the segment, like,
Yes.
second
Yes.
semester people are talking about segmentary, telemetry, etc. So it's kind of enriching. Like, it's kind of great to see ki people are following their pursuits, but many of them like do it for 4 years and without exploring anything else, and they just dive deep into that thing. So how
Hmm.
like how healthy do you think this whole environment is, and how like is it killing the whole thing of finding yourself in college, finding what you really want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I just
So like.
yeah.
So according to me, if you have explored yourself earlier and you find that you are a perfect fit for software engineering, then it's completely fine for you to getting into it from the first year. But if you are someone who have not explored yourself and into the peer pressure that everybody is doing that, so I should have done that. So I don't think that it's the correct approach. You should explore different possibilities, and until and unless you find yourself a fit for that, you should go for it.
Okay. So, like, you told me you started in fourth year. So, before anything, I just wanted to ask, what was your journey? How did you come across, like, first you started with coding, then Avalara, then Amazon? How all of it happened? Could you brief it down to us? Take us through that journey from the start. Yeah.
Yeah, so from my first year, I'm someone who is into everything. Like I was onto the graphic designing thing. I also joined some content writing clubs, the cultural and technical fest of our college. Everything I joined, and just to explore that what I like. And in my first year, I find graphic designing a fit for me. So I continued that for 2 3 years, and also done some internship onto that. But after some time, I realized that there is not much potential onto that, and I'm from a different background, like the engineering background, so it's difficult for me to go ahead onto the career for this particular path. So I chose CAT because I am a little bit onto the management side as well. But after 3 4 months doing that, solving the quantitative aptitude thing, English questions, I feel like, oh yeah, this is something which is not made for me. So what should I do now? Like it's been 3 years now and I have completely wasted. But still I didn't lose the hope. And like one of my friends, she is very good in coding. So I consulted with her, ki, what if I moved right now onto the SDE thing? And she said that it's never too late and you can start anytime. So on to my fourth year, I started like preparing for all those things, and apparently got placed into a good company, that is Avlara. But even after landing up at Avlara, I realized that like I can do even more better. So after spending 1.5 year at Avlara, I started preparing again, and like in the between, I started preparing after 6 7 months, and for a whole year I prepared. And then after completing my 1.6 year, I decided to switch, and I got 12 offers, and Amazon is one of that.
Can you, like, brief all their off? If is it okay to share, like, what all offers you've got?
Yeah, it's like from Flipkart, Paytm, Swiggy, Visa, Goldman Sachs. So all the big names were there.
Yeah.
Not Google and Facebook. They are still onto the waiting list. But
Okay.
yeah, all the other big names were there.
Okay, so like
Bharat Pay, like that was one of the most hyped startup.
yeah, Bharat Pay is really so like you got all these big like brands under your belt, and after this, the general perception is ki you have to be like candidate master on code forces to even get an interview call from Amazon or maybe this Flipkart, etc. or Rubrik, for example. So these companies. So what exactly? So this perception somewhat discourages people to not pursue the software engineering path or maybe apply for GATE. GATE feels a lot easier. कि, GATE IIT चले
Yeah,
जाएंगे, MTech करेंगे, so all the companies would be coming and it's very difficult to get an interview call. So how exactly and what is the exact level of difficulty? Because you're not the guy who is doing it from like the day one of college. You
yeah,
started
yes,
like
yes,
much late. So I guess you have
yes.
you have spent like more than 1 year in the software engineering market. So what is the exact scenario and how much preparation is needed for a guy to actually land a job in these big
Yes.
giants? Yeah.
So, like these company are not looking for someone who have prior knowledge of something. Like yeah, if you have knowledge of Java, Python, they are not looking for that. These big giants are looking for the intelligent people, and they judge your intelligence by DSA, data structures and algorithm. So, like competitive programming and DSA are something which are aligned together. Like they are. Somewhat similar. So by doing competitive programming, you can be good in DSA, and that can open your path to these companies. So in short, like people do CP to get into these companies, but it is not the case. If you are not doing CP, then you won't end up into these big companies. Only the DSA thing is required. So if you prepare well for the DSA, then you can easily got into these companies. But like in my case, I have some experience. So without getting much onto the competitive programming thing, I easily got an interview call. But for a college student, like they need some kind of experience or some kind of skills. So basically college students don't have this much of exposure, so they look for your competitive programming profiles, the HRs of this company, so they can judge you onto the basis of that before giving an interview call. So therefore a lot of students do this kind of competitive programming thing on CodeChef and Codeforces to make their profile better, so they can easily get an interview call from these big giants. So yeah, it's easy if you do that, but it's not necessary.
Okay. So like if somebody hasn't been into the competitive programming space in college, so he can take a 6 month to 1 year of experience and then apply. That maybe if that's the case with you. So okay, fine. That's the whole thing. Like that's the whole preparation part of it. So how did you
Yeah.
like go with preparing? Like what all like the general perception is to just pick up the top 100 problems on Algo Expert and just get done with it or pick up lead code and just it's a whole myriad of options and questions. There's a lot of things to do. So how did you structure your way around? And you had a little time. You also I'd like to for you to incorporate this fact. Ki, how did you get into the working mode and the problem solving mode in the same day at the same like 24 घंटे ही है. So
Yeah,
how
yeah,
did
yeah.
you like prepare it set?
Yeah, so like while I'm preparing for these big giants, and I was in Avlara. So in previous 6 months, like when my internship began, so that time I don't have much time. Like I'm completely engaged onto my work thing. But after 6 7 months, I got a hold over my domain, and so my working hours reduced. From 8 hours, it came to around 5 to 6 hours. So I have a lot of free time, and also this COVID thing was going on, so because of that we are not going out and doing something, and I'm end up all those series and all, so I have a lot of free time now. Like I'm getting bored by this Netflix and Amazon Prime thing, so what should I do? So I end up like I started doing coding thing, and uh, like after 2 3 months, first 2 3 months, I feel little bit bored doing this thing, but in 2 3 months it became my habit to solve at least 5 questions a day, and I kept doing it for a year, so it improved my DSA part, and coming up to the approach, like which resources I followed, what is my strategy. So it's good if you follow some YouTuber or some there is a few YouTubers who have made on some path or roadmap, so you
Striver.
can follow that particular thing. So like you have a idea like what you are going to do, you can track your progress, so following a roadmap is easy. So like I'll take the name of few YouTubers if it is okay.
Striver,
Is
like everyone who is
Yeah,
my audience, Striver, Love Babbar, all these. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
my next question was that, but are you okay? You mentioned it. So I just wanted to know, ki, like Striver, for example, has 180 questions in his sheet, and Love has around 450 questions in his sheet. So
Yeah,
such sheets like give you a broad perspective of the whole thing. but there are also other schools of thought that go about like for example, they are the schools of thought ki you should try random questions and not go with this roadmaps. So that improves your IQ like to a whole another level. So which school of thought do you think is ideal? Okay, they might answer might be subjective, but what is your personal opinion?
Yeah, so like I told my approach in this. Like I am following a list, three lists I am following. One is the Love Bubbers, another one is Stivers, obviously, and new list is there that is Blind 75 list. So there's three lists I am following, and there are few channels which I am following. Mostly I code in Python, so there is a channel called Neat Code, and there is also one good channel Tech Dose. So these are the channels which I am following, and like the DP thing I am following from the Aditya
Aditya Verma.
Aditya Verma. Yeah. So all these channels I am following. Then there is also one DSA by Abdul Bari. So that is
Abdul
also I
Bhai.
am following. So these are the structured way. But
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, like sometimes you get bored by following all this thing. So I randomly go to some website, used to pick a question and solve it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely random choice. Like someday I will open Lead Code, someday I'll open Ad Coder, just to try that how at what stage I am and what kind of question I be able to solve. But mainly I am stick to this particular roadmaps by different YouTubers, so I can track my progress easily. And on the days when I'm bored or I just want to explore myself, I open a random website and solve a random question. So that's my
Okay.
approach.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. So, I mean, like this was your whole approach thing, and how did you go about, solving the whole thing? Like in college, we generally, focus on development and competitive programming and everything, and also core sometimes. So, like, what all incorporates, just to the whole computer science thing? Like after you get into a job, like you were working in Avalara for 1 year. So, ki, what part of it is the most helpful in job? Ki DSA, obviously, you solve a lot of questions, but obviously your manager won't give you a lick list to reverse and maybe you burn a leaf tree, burn a binary tree. So what is the part of DSA that is incorporated in that whole job thing? So yeah.
So DSA is not much incorporated. Like you have to work with the libraries mostly, which are over there, or like you have to explore something, work with the high level design or low level design thing. So this DSA is not much incorporated, but yeah, sometimes you can use it. Like there was a functionality of having a recommendation engine onto one thing at Avlara. So I used it. I used try data structure for that. So you can use it, and my manager liked that idea. Like he have not used a try in his career, and I told him that we can also use this thing. So yeah, definitely there is some scope, but it is very little. Mostly I have to deal with some pre-built libraries, packages, or the best practices that your organization is working on. And coming on to the point, like what your manager or someone who hires you look onto you, like these things you should know. So yeah, DSA is a must for these big giants. Apart from that, they look at your internships, how much good projects you have onto your resume, how much broader knowledge of everything you have, then also your coding profiles, your achievements on the tech field. So these all things someone who is hiring for is look onto you, and if you are good on all this, so you will be able to work on any thing, like which is whatever the task given to you.
Sure. So like I'll come back to my earlier question. Ki there are two school of thoughts in like a sophomore's mind. Ki I should pursue this coding thing, or get into my job, gain some experience, practice coding on the side, and get into another job like you did. And another thing is like go for a master's degree like MTech Gate, and that is like I don't really I don't really have the think ki you study core for entire your entire college life and get into a master's degree, and then it's a lot of opportunity cost. So what do you prefer? Ki is the market enough? The market accepting of the enough accepting nature to accept new talent from non-premier colleges? Ki just they have good DSA skills and they just land up in good companies, or they should consider doing this master thing just for the sake of getting into a good job. So if somebody is
uh,
interested in research, that's a completely different story. I'm not talking about those people. The people who are like want to get into good companies. So yeah.
yeah, so masters, I don't think it is required to end up onto these big companies. I know a lot of people who have not even done engineering and now working into Google as a software engineer, and now market is very open. So they are not looking for someone who have a degree in particular, but if you have enough knowledge to do that particular job, they are open to you. Still there are few companies who looks for engineering or BCA, MCA candidates. But right now the thing started changing, so it's not required. But it's like still it's onto the its initial phase, so people are looking for the engineering degree. And coming to the master thing, so it makes you easier. Like I know a lot of people who have not done much coding and are onto their masters into some IIT or an IT and have got placed into this big giants. So yeah, from the master perspective, it is quite like from this big giants, big colleges, it is quite easy if you have not done much DSA, but you can still easily go to this big companies. But yeah, it requires your 2 years, a lot of money, and then the pressure upon you that you have done your engineering, then again started studying. So if you are ready to deal with that thing, then you can go for your masters as well.
Definitely. So, like that brings me to the end of all the thing which I had. Like as a question, as an engineer, like I'm posting my coding key. What are questions I or my peers might have? Now comes to you, like what after this? Like you are into Amazon right now. So what is the like Amazon is considered, like if everybody in engineering considers Amazon like the key to destination, hai, but it's like one part of the journey. You become an SDE at Amazon. So what after this? Like how does an SD think? What is your future goals? What do you think कि अभी क्या करना है? What is Amazon? What is the work culture like? कि लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? What is the general? What is the career in engineering? कि people don't think a career after SD1, SD2. What is the thing after that? Yeah.
Yeah, so there are various career paths. Like you can go onto the software development manager thing, we call it SDM. So you can manage people. Then you can go onto the product manager thing, you can work with the product, like which Sundar Pichai did. He was onto the product management. And there are a lot of paths as well. You can stick with the hiring manager thing, you can become a hiring manager. So there are a lot of different paths. And if you still want to continue onto this SDE thing, then into SDE there are different kind of things. You can be an architect, you can go onto the DevOps things, and you can be a cloud engineer or something. You can go explore your thing onto the machine learning side. So it's totally depend upon your interest. There are n number of paths, and you can also create your own path. You can after like 5-6 years you can start your new startup and something like that. So the possibilities are endless. It totally depends upon you what you want to do.
Sure, sir. So that brings me to the end of the streak of my questions. So, like how I just wanted to like end my streak of questions now, so called. Ki how was the experience? Like how, like from the guy who was into UX UI designing, then CAT, then you got into coding in the final year probably. You told us. So it's a lot of pressure. Ki, I have to crack a good placement, and from that pressure to like 1 year of coding with the job, that's also a lot of pressure. So how has it been, the journey been, and what were the learnings you had in this thing कि ये नहीं करना है यार, कि somebody who's preparing for these similar tech giants, so what all things should they keep in mind, and what all things they should certainly avoid or maybe certainly follow? So yeah.
Yeah. So I'll share my learnings. Like one of the most important learning that I've learned is the consistency. If you consistently do something, then you will become successful eventually. So consistency, but into the right direction. Like if you are, if I say you to go to South India and you are moving towards North India consistently, so that's not the right thing. You should move into the right direction consistently. That is one thing which I have learned. And then there is no substitute for the hard work. You have to do hard work at some places. Like sometimes by luck you will get something very big, but it's not the case all the time. Like 99% of the times you have to achieve it by your strength, your power. So hard, there is no other substitute for the hard work. And people say that we missed the opportunity, but it's their fault. Like opportunities will keep coming, but you need to be prepared to grab that particular opportunity. So keep doing hard work and keep looking for the opportunity. And sometimes, like if you are onto that particular track, and some opportunity will came, and you will easily get something. Like maybe 1-2 years before, you are trying for that thing very hard, and right now you'll get it very easily. So if you keep trying consistently for something, someday you'll be successful. So consistency is the one thing, working onto the right direction. And then stop overthinking. I see a lot of people, they do a lot of overthinking. So you should avoid that thing. And stop blindly following something. You can also like there are people who are blindly, they just want to be a SDE, see at Amazon. So it's not good for their health, for their family. So stop blindly following something. Enjoy life as well. Like we have
Mhm.
only one life, so it's important to explore different things, be with your friends, chill with your friends, but keep working as well. But enjoy the life. So these are two things which you need to manage: how to enjoy and how to achieve your goals.
So in the
So
end,
these are the key learnings.
the thing is ki I'll just want you to quantify the whole thing ki you
Hmm.
are 5 to 6 hours in a day you're doing your job, but after that
Hmm.
there's no reasonable measure of how long you should immerse in coding. Ki aapne kaha na ki a lot of people forget about their friends and forget about the family and just get into this coding thing ki din mein 10 ghanta I have to do it every day for like 2 months.
Hmm.
So this is a good practice of maybe doing it for 6 months probably, but doing on like 2 ghanta daily is good. Or maybe 10 घंटे 12 घंटे कर लिया then कुछ नहीं किया weekends पे. That is approach.
I think doing it consistently is the good thing. Like sometimes you can go deep dive, like you can work for 10
Mhm.
10 hours a day and you can do the coding, but it won't work for the longer period of time. After some time, you will get different
Burned
kind of
out.
thoughts, like what I am doing, why I'm
Mhm.
doing this, and your mind will wonder. Like if you follow this approach, going for the 10 hours daily thing, because our mind is not work.
Not
Evolved like
config.
this, that we are doing something consistently for a longer
Mhm.
period of time, which is and we look for rewards. So I think like you can do it sometime, like for a week or so, but in longer run it's better to do it with some consistency, like 2 hours or 3 hours a day. And whenever you feel like this week is I'm completely free, I don't have much work, so you can deep dive and go for the 10-hour thing.
Okay, so that's pretty much it, and so that's the wrap of our podcast. So, how did you like feel about sharing your experience, and what was your experience in the podcast? I just wanted to ask that.
Yeah, it's very good. I feel very great that you are helping a lot of people into your college and also other people who are your subscribers onto the YouTube. So keep doing the good work, and yeah, it's
Any
great. Even I
anything
love to help the yeah.
anything you'd like to add to the viewers? Ki this particular many of my viewers are particularly people from second year, third year, fourth year. So, what is that you wanted to say to them? Ki this thing you should follow, etc.
Yeah, so keep exploring yourself. Like don't blindly follow this software engineering thing. It's good, like it can give money, add a lot of opportunities, but still there are few other career options as well, so keep exploring them. Maybe something is very good for you. There is a saying, if everyone become the software engineer, then who will do the other work?
Yeah.
So don't we should explore other thing as other career options as well. And
Mhm.
if you find yourself a good fit for it, then definitely go for it. Like it's a very good career options. Right now market is very open to us and they are paying quite well to the software engineers.
Mhm.
So
So it can
that's
be a
the
part of,
thing.
like, it's a good head start to the career. You can have a lot of funds to do other things in the future, I guess.
Yeah, right.
So
You
yeah.
can gather a lot of funds, and after 5 6 year, if you like want to switch some go to some other career option, you can do that as well. So yeah, starting with the software engineer thing is a good thing right now into India.
Okay. So yeah, thanks a lot. That's pretty much the end of it. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe. Also, if you can see the whole drill, there'll be two Kanish
Yeah,
saying that. So
yeah, please subscribe to Kanishk's channel.
okay, thanks a lot, and thank you for lending your time to us.